Hello, Westlife.
Hello, dailystar.co.uk. We're here to do an interview to talk about our shocking split story and a better future.
Wow, that's
the first question that every single journalist is asked.
That's a
Brian
time
McFadden
question.
8 years ago. Honestly, none of us came, to be honest. It was all kind of, well, it's coming for the last couple of years. It's not something that's happened in the last week or month, or no shocking thing that happened that made it happen. I think we've all just been realising that we're coming to a greatest hits, we're coming to a time in the band that we feel, are we enjoying it as much anymore? Is the kind of on-stage performance the only thing that we're enjoying? And it got to a stage where we were questioning ourselves an awful lot the last year, and we just thought the more we talked, the more people had other things to say, and we all added it to it, and we just eventually said, look, it's the perfect time, it's the right time to do it. We're still at the top, we're about to release the greatest hits and have a huge tour next year. It'd be a great way to go out rather than maybe keep it going for the next 5, 6, 7, whatever years, and kind of really starting to not like what we do at all.
Because it felt like, you know, when you were still with Psycho, that was perhaps the reason that you might not have been happy.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest about it, there was things with, you know, we had a great 13 years with Psycho, and probably with how we were feeling as a band, we were looking for other reasons to try and improve Westlife as a whole. And I think moving from Psycho, you know, wasn't the cause of us splitting and wasn't the cause of us staying together. It was simply,
there was legitimate issues with
absolutely,
Psycho.
we didn't have our second singles over the past few years with Psycho. There was things like that. Being with Simon is amazing, but you know, Simon, you know, wasn't there all the time with us, so we needed somebody like that. We needed, you know, somebody else to do that. So we definitely feel we probably made the right decision in moving from Psycho. That's not the reason we split up or decided to do this, because we felt as a music band we needed to release more music to our fans, and we went with RCA. But we were also, I suppose, at the back of it all, feeling a little bit tired, a little bit kind of 14 years. How much energy do we have for it anymore? That goes with for lots of different reasons. That goes with sheer pressure that you kind of exert on each other to be there all the time. You know, to do the interviews, do the songs, do the recordings, do the promo tours, the world tours, whatever they are. And I think it just comes to a time in your life when you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, you know what? For whatever reason, and you know, all the reasons lumped together, it's time, greatest hits year, out of contract, to bow out. You know, and we're as sad as everybody else, and I think, you know, we've dealt with it all. People coming up in the street saying, you know, oh well, you've got young families, you know, you've done right. That's not the reason, because I want to continue to work and stuff like that. We dealt with people going, yeah, the reunion in 2 or 5 or 10 years, that's not the reason. You know, that, as far as we're concerned, sitting here today, that's not going to happen. So it's not a publicity stunt. There was more money on the table from Sony 2 months ago, 3 months ago, as a part of a renegotiation deal that we didn't take. So it just felt right for everybody to see what else is out there for us all as individuals.
So this tour next year, that really will be the last time.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end, yeah, the end of Westlife. We don't know when the last show will be, but you know, we're hoping to be a big extravagant show. It could be Dublin, could be London, we're not sure, but it's going to be an amazing tour, but it could be Scotland, but it could be
we'll have to work our asses off.
it's going to be very, very, very sad as well. It's going to be, we're very,
it's
even
going
for
to be
me,
tears, surely.
yeah, we're out of the shadow. We're talking about the last few days, like, what will we actually do right after the show? When we come off the stage and it's the last time we ever come up or on the stage is Westlife, it's going to be horrendous. You know, we feel like it's going to be the worst, could be the worst, you know, day of our...
No, it's so far, it's like a year away that I'm trying to not even get into the headspace yet, you know.
Yeah, not even
you know what, as well, we've as good as we played, you know, as in like giving ourselves the opportunities now to prepare for it, and we're actually building it up as well to something major where we're going bang, whatever the last show is, which isn't actually on sale or even announced yet. But like other bands that have had breaks, no, well, you know, we might come back next year or the year after, 10, 4, whatever. We're actually saying we're not. Do you know what I mean? So like so now we're building that big show into the penultimate. Is that the right word?
What's Louis going to do with himself now?
He's got plenty on his plate. He's definitely, you know, Louis didn't go, oh thank God, just splitting up. He's done the opposite. He kind of freaked out. He's like, what do you do? He really just, I mean, you know, he was like, are you sure? Oh, you'll change your mind, don't worry, we'll turn it around, we'll fix whatever's wrong. And then we kind of sat him down and had a proper chat with him and explained that it's not like something is majorly wrong. It's just, it's time for this to happen. You know, it's 14 years later, 13 albums later, 10 tours or 10 or 11 tours later it'll be. It's like it's a natural it's the natural thing to happen. And we couldn't go on releasing an album every year forever until we die.
And also, in fairness to us, Mark, we couldn't go on releasing an album every 2 or 3 years because we're a pop band and we can't, even though you might have some money in the bank, we want to work. Yeah. So we're not in a situation where a rock band goes away and goes, we're in writing, and it might take 2 years or 5 years to make that album. None of us want to sit around doing I don't want to sit around doing things like that. We gotta work, if you like, in that sense.
I think we're too young as well. We're too eager to always be working. It's not like we're U2 and we're 40, 50 years old or whatever. Rolling Stones and they're 60 years old. Yeah. We still feel like hopefully a lot of our life is ahead of us.
So what are you going to do next? Solo
projects? For all of us, I think we'll all do solo projects. What them solo projects will be. The only person that has anything actually planned is Keane, because he had to take a job, or he had to sign up to a contract for The Voice next year. So
he's in The Voice.
He's in Ireland.
In Ireland. Okay.
So he's done that. For the rest of us, for me personally, I'd love to keep singing, but I don't know what's there for me. I don't know. There's we've no record deals individually.
So Sony haven't came in and talked solo deals.
Nobody's talked to anybody yet, because it's literally been 2 weeks. We've been off, and I think whatever's meant to be, whatever come out, whether it's singing, whether it's TV, acting, there's so much stuff we could look into. Thankfully Westlife has given us an amazing platform as people, as individuals, and I think there's so much stuff out there we all want to do. That's how I feel anyway. But I think it's great that we have the next kind of 8 or 9 months to get something in place, because we don't want to get to that last show. Personally, I don't want to get to that last show and go, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Because it's a very scary thought. So I think we're all blessed in a way that we have this time to kind of work out what we're going to do and have some sort of plan.
Which of the crop of current boy bands do you think can last as long as you guys?
Last 14 years.
Who knows?
I actually don't see any of them doing it. I'll be honest. I
think it's very hard for us.
How can you say? We don't know the role they have. We don't know what they have that we did have or didn't have.
I think you have to assume that new boy bands these days, the same as what we could only assume when we started off, is that 4 or 5 years max is
it's an amazing career.
You can't really assume past that. After that, we happened to stay together for another 10 years after that. That's because we all get along. We all still wanted it for all that time. I think we're kind of a bit freakish in that sense, whereas the normal boy band wouldn't really. It's just not in.
It depends. It depends how the bands get on. It depends if the 5 of them or 4 of them, or whoever it is, wants to go solo within 3 years, which happens with a lot of bands. For us, we didn't want to do that. We really enjoyed singing together and wanted to do our thing and be different.
That did happen with us though. Brian left.
Brian left. Yeah.
We survived it.
Yeah. So there's some great bands out there at the moment. I can see One Direction having a great career.
Yeah, One Direction to me.
14 years, I don't know. They might have a career for 24 years, but
The Wanted are fantastic as well. JLS are great. They're all great. It's not. What I'm saying isn't that they're not great.
JLS is together quite a long time.
It's actually quite unnatural to last as long as we've lasted.
They were friends as well, so that's
like 4 or 5 years in boy band land is actually fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah, exactly.